This is the GIS Evening News for Thursday, July 25th, 2024. I am Abigail McIntyre. In the headlines, new comptroller of customs appointed, and RGPF announces stringent measures for Carnival 2024. Details to this story and more when we return.
Welcome to the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, hosted by your new chairman, the Honourable Deacon Mitchell, July 28th to 30th, St. George, Grenada. The Conference of Heads of Government, comprising the leaders of member states, serves as the highest governing body of the Caribbean community. CARICOM is a multilingual community made up of 20 countries, 15 member states and 5 associate members, and is home to approximately 16 million citizens. CARICOM stands on 4 pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. It holds ultimate authority for negotiating treaties on behalf of the community and establishing relationships between the community and international organizations and states. The conference oversees the financial arrangements necessary to cover the community's expenses, though it has assigned this responsibility to the Community Council. Typically, decisions within the conference are reached through unanimous agreement. Join us as we begin the countdown for the 47th regular meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government in Spice Island, Grenada, with incoming chairman, the Honourable Deacon Mitchell, and the whole of CARICOM represented. Let's join the conversations and prepare the shifting perspectives on pertinent and pressing issues that affect our Caribbean community.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Finance has announced the appointment of Mrs. Karen Forsyth-Hall to the post of Comptroller of Customs at the Customs and Excise Division. Mrs. Forsyth-Hall's appointment as acting comptroller took effect on Monday, July 15th, 2024. She joined the Customs and Excise Division in 1997 as a customs clerk, and over time rose through the ranks to eventually attain the highest level within the organization. Prior to this new appointment, Mrs. Forsyth-Hall functioned in the capacity of Deputy Comptroller of Customs. She holds a Master's of Science degree in International Trade Policy and a Bachelor of Science in Management Studies. The Ministry of Finance congratulated Mrs. Forsyth-Hall on her appointment and extends best wishes for success during her tenure in the office of Comptroller of Customs. Mrs. Forsyth-Hall replaces Mr. Algernon Belfon as acting comptroller. The ministry publicly thanked Mr. Belfon for his service and conveys sincerest wishes for continued success in his public service career. The Royal Grenada Police Force is announcing stringent measures for Carnival 2024. During a press conference on Thursday, the RGPF said all relevant departments have finalized their plans, and as such, it was introducing a comprehensive 3-phased security plan covering pre-Carnival, Carnival, and post-Carnival periods. This plan will be executed by the RGPF, Spice Mass, and other relevant stakeholders. ACP Vanny Cohen, officer in charge of crimes, outlined the security intentions for this year's Carnival festivities.
The following are the security intentions of the RGPF. 1. The Commissioner of Police will employ the RGPF to work in collaboration with Spice Mass Corporation and other stakeholders from the launch of Carnival, which was on May 4, 2024, to its culmination in August 2024, by implementing our efficient and effective enforcement management strategies for the safe and secure hosting of all Carnival celebrations. 2. The maintenance of the peace and tranquility of our nation during this heightened period of revelry. 3. The suppression of criminal activities with the aim of reducing all categories of crimes. 4. To plan and execute road safety measures consistent with our responsibility for traffic management. And 5, to educate the public on crime reduction measures as well as fire prevention.
The RGPF recorded a 10% increase in traffic-related offences in 2023. Corporal Troy Paul, attached to the Traffic Department, explained the direction of their operations for 2024, particularly during the activities.
Increase in foot patrols. That will be done daily within the town of St. George's. These foot patrols will address the issue of traffic congestion by placing officers in strategic position and choke points. An increase in mobile and motorcycle patrols. This will be done daily as well, and that will include radar checks, radar speed checks, especially within hotspots and accident-prone areas to significantly reduce the offense of speeding. Major increase in traffic checks. Throughout the country, this will be done throughout the country as we draw closer to the peak of Carnival when there are major events. Given our intention to increase checks, you should expect delays in the traffic. Therefore, we ask that motorists and the rest of the traveling public be patient and understanding.
Corporal Paul says the RGPF will adopt a zero-tolerance approach to motorists driving under the influence of alcohol.
A breathalyzer test will be conducted once someone is suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol. The individual must not have in excess of 70 micrograms of alcohol in 100 milliliters of breath while driving. If a breathalyzer test is requested and an individual, because he or she is suspected of being under the influence of alcohol, but he or she refused to take that test, the individual can be arrested and charged and fined by the court on a first conviction of $5,000 and imprisonment of 12 months. And in the case of a second and subsequent conviction, the individual can be fined up to $10,000 and to imprisonment for 2 years.
Adherence to traffic signs and signals is also advised to avert any occurrences on the nation's roads.
Drivers must be aware that once they violate these traffic signs and signals, they can be ticketed, clamped, or towed away at their own expense. Their actions can also result in court fines and prison sentences. Therefore, we are imploring drivers to adhere to these traffic signs and signals. Ticket fines can range from $150 to $500 for failing to comply with those signs and signals. Clamping and towing carry a fee of $125.
This is the GIS Evening News. When we come back, 28 young men and women graduate from refrigeration and air conditioning training organized by the Ministry of Climate Resilience.
Experience the heart and soul of Spice Mass at the Grenlec Traditional Mass Festival on Saturday, July 27th at Hero Square, Victoria in St. Mark. Join us from 3 p.m. and witness the spectacular cultural display of the various traditional mass bands such as vgh'n, Shortney, Wild India, Jab Jab, and Maypole dancers with vibrant costumes, infectious music, and unforgettable cultural tradition. Bring your family and friends to enjoy an afternoon filled with excitement and heritage. Your presence is not just a visit, but a contribution to the preservation of our rich Grenadian culture. The Traditional Mass Festival, commencing 3 p.m. Hero Square, St. Mark. See you there. Saturday, 27 July. This event is sponsored by Grenlec.
Welcome back. Government continues to push its 2030 agenda to promote sustainable practices to reduce harmful greenhouse gas emissions by 40% below 2010 levels. On Wednesday, 28 participants graduated from an 8-week National Ozone Unit and GrenCase refrigeration and air conditioning program. It was held at the Forsyth-Hall Secondary School and included theoretical and practical sessions. Head of the Renewable Energy Division in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, Leslie Smith, emphasized the significance of training individuals in best practices, which augurs well for the environment in the future. The training will be launched in St. George's in September 2024 and in St. Patrick in May 2025.
In Grenada, the only ozone-depleting substances that are used are in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector. And if bad practices are to continue in this sector where technicians or persons or leaking circuits in these appliances are allowed to release these gases into the atmosphere, it's going to cause a lot of problems for us here. We're going to have all of these adverse atmospheric conditions. Climate change is another issue. We've seen what has happened recently with Hurricane Beryl. So we need to address this particular sector to ensure that we do not cause any further damage to our very fragile environment. Although we have done 6 rounds of training in this particular area, the intention is to continue. I would like to say very early that during the week of September 16th this year, we are going to launch the next round of training for persons in the St. George's area, and so they would have a second chance of it. The first time we did it was in St. George's, but that was several years ago. But we have been receiving a lot of requests from persons in St. George's, and so we are going to take it back to St. George's.
Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, the Honorable Karine James, encouraged the participants to view this success as a step in the direction of sustainable and healthier practices. She highlighted the government's commitment to support their advancement in the field.
Our efforts here contribute to a worldwide movement to curtail greenhouse gas emissions and champion sustainable, eco-friendly technologies. Over the past 8 weeks, 28 of 45 of you have successfully mastered both theoretical concepts and practical applications, a testament to your commitment and resilience. This achievement does not just signify the acquisition of new skills. It heralds the emergence of new leaders in environmental stewardship within the cooling industry. And so as we acknowledge your accomplishments today, view this not as the end, but an inaugural step in your continued journey towards innovation and sustainable practice. The government of Grenada has implemented the free tuition assistance. Before that, the Ministry of Climate Resilience, Environment and Renewable Energy used to give scholarships to 10 students towards the TAMCC and NULO as well, and NULO programs. Now you have the government taking care of the tuition. So what we're doing now in our ministry, we're taking care of the tools required, and we're taking care of the t-shirts and any other additional costs that you have. And so I say this to say that you have the opportunities.
Participant Keshawn Paul shared a review of the program on behalf of the group. He expressed gratitude for the opportunity to contribute toward reducing harmful gas emissions.
They were truly the backbone of this course, our instructors. Mr. Frederick, the instructor we spend the most time with, had an obvious commitment to our learning, which was evident in every session. He was not just teaching, but sharing our wealth of knowledge with a genuine interest in our success. He did not miss an opportunity for us to delve deeper into the theory, guiding us by his experience and practical demonstrations. As a matter of fact, all of us know Mr. Frederick have a road batch line. He always says this: work with what you don't want in case you need it. As we delved into the mechanics of rack systems, the discussion frequently circled back to how these technologies could be optimized for greener living. It's fascinating to see how the field is evolving to meet demands of our environmentally conscious era. This course was not only expanded our technical skills, but also broadened our perspective on the future of rack, opportunities in the field, and the need for us to contribute to the vocation.
27 groovy artists, 30 soca artists, and 25 Calypsonians are slated to perform in the semi-final round of the Spice Mass Corporation's events that form the lead-up to the climax of the festivity. The Brian Griffith Groovy semi-final will take place on July 25th, while the Dr. Trevor Friday Soca semi-final will take place on Friday 26th, and the Melody Papatet Calypso semi-final on Sunday, July 28th at the Progress Park in St. Andrew. During an interview with the GIS on Thursday, public relations consultant with the Spice Mass Corporation, Chrislyn Lashington, said the SMC is thrilled to have reached this stage after a few setbacks due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
We're thrilled to now be at the semi-final round of competition for the Calypso as well as the Soca. And we're now seeing a few hundred artists came together in the preliminary round. And now we're down to 27 in the Groovy Soca, 30 in the Power Soca, and 25 Calypsonians competing this weekend. It's really exciting. We're moving to St. Andrew, Big Parish, for the semi-finals because we're spreading it around and really ensuring that Carnival reaches all corners of Grenada. Of course, you know, we have had some setbacks along the way with the passing of Hurricane Beryl, and we're ensuring that every single event that we host, beginning with the prelims, a portion of the proceeds go towards the Government of Grenada relief efforts.
Lashington says patrons can purchase tickets for the various events at the regular ticket outlets. She also alluded to the fact that there are also the options for pay-per-view for those who would like to enjoy the show from the comfort of their homes or business.
Starting from the semifinals for the Groovy Soca, we will be having tickets available in advance. You can pay at the door as well. For the semifinals weekend, we have $40 admission for each event. The traditional Mass Festival is absolutely free. You can get your tickets now online at gotofed.com. You can head on down to the Spice Mass Corporation office at the GCNA complex. We also have ticket outlets throughout Grenada. So Licks and Bites in Guave, Carriacou in Sauters. We also have Gittins in town as well as in Sauters, Grenadian Optical in St. George's and in Spiceland Mall. And you can definitely call us 440-0621 to find out where you can get tickets close to you. And of course, also at the St. David's Pharmacy in St. David. For those people who would like to tune in and get that first-class seat up close and personal, we do have pay-per-view available on TV, on cable with Flow, as well as online. So you can contact Flow if you wish to see it on your televisions. But if you wish to purchase them online, you can head to www.tiziq.com. That's tiziq.com. And you can get passes for each event, starting from semis all the way to Dimanche Gras, or you can actually purchase a season pass where you get all the events in one purchase. So we're really encouraging everyone to support the events of Spice Mass. We're celebrating our culture, we're celebrating our stakeholders, the mass bands, the Calypsonians, the Soca artists, the Queen contestants, the Pan players. Everyone is coming together to really make it a remarkable Spice Mass 2024.
The Brian Griffith Groovy semi-finals and the Dr. Trevor Friday Soca semi-finals will begin at 5 p.m. sharp, while the Melody Papatet Calypso semi-finals on Sunday, July 28th will begin at 5 p.m. This is the GIS Evening News. More after the break.
Welcome to the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, hosted by your new chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, July 28th to 30th, St. George, Grenada. The Conference of Heads of Government, comprising the leaders of member states, serves as the highest governing body of the Caribbean community. CARICOM is a multilingual community made up of 20 countries, 15 member states and 5 associate members, and is home to approximately 16 million citizens. CARICOM stands on 4 pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. It holds ultimate authority for negotiating treaties on behalf of the community and establishing relationships between the community and international organizations and states. The conference oversees the financial arrangements necessary to cover the community's expenses, though it has assigned this responsibility to the Community Council. Typically, decisions within the conference are reached through unanimous agreement. Join us as we begin the countdown for the 47th regular meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government in Spice Island, Grenada, with incoming chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and the whole of CARICOM represented. Let's join the conversations and prepare the shifting perspectives on pertinent and pressing issues that affect our Caribbean community.
Welcome back. Educators are applauding an initiative by the Ministry of Education to host a series of workshops supporting children with autism spectrum disorder in early childhood education. We hear more in this Annette Moore report.
Educators gave positive feedback regarding the training. Kathleen Francis Victor, District 3 Special Education Needs Officer, facilitated a workshop on behavioral management strategies at the St. Andrew's Methodist School.
As autism is getting more prevalent within our schools, that is, these strategies will help them to cope with those children, or to deal or to help the children in the environment socially, as well as making the classroom environment safe for them.
She says both the Special and Inclusive Education and Early Childhood Education Unit will monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of the workshop against the practical application of the strategies taught. Workshop participant Michelle Baptiste Belfon, a teacher at the Holy Spirit Catholic School in Chantemelle St. Patrick, feels empowered by the session.
As we're on holidays, it's a great opportunity for us to learn this now. So when we go back to school in the new term, we're able to facilitate the needs of the children who are coming to us. In the event that any of them do have autism, we are now equipped to deal with them and understand the early signs and how to cater to their special needs.
District 2 Early Childhood Education Officer Patrina Sukram Charles says their unit expects to see an improvement in teachers' capacity to manage a classroom, including students who have special needs, and a reduction in the teacher frustration levels due to improved strategies.
I personally would have gathered a lot of knowledge, so it was a learning experience for me as well, because I am not trained in special needs, and most times as an officer visiting the schools, sometimes I do not have the answers. So now I think that I am in a better position where I can even give some support to the teachers.
Facilitator Ria Jacob Hazard presented on sensory integration and regulation for children with autism during a session at the Anglican High School. She says it was a productive session where teachers got to share their experiences and learn from each other.
I would have introduced the teachers to the whole idea of understanding sensory processing, sensory integration, how children regulate, what type of behaviors they are probably going to observe in children who are autistic in their classroom, and how they can provide supports for them in their classrooms so that they can regulate themselves and, of course, reach their optimal learning zone.
Several other teachers expressed their appreciation for the workshop.
What is standing out to me so far for today is adjusting our pedagogy skills. So we cannot teach as is for these children. We have to make adjustments to regulate these children. So no longer are we just going to cater for every learner, but we now have to use skills, develop skills, implement skills that we're learning here today to cater for them. So it may mean that we may have to adjust our environment, we may have to have a sensory, now we're hearing about a sensory room where the children can go, and special needs students, specifically autism children, can go in and develop some of the senses that they need developing, and so on. So it means that we have to really think outside of the box.
This morning session was very, very informative and very enlightening to me. Taught me a lot of strategies and ways in dealing with children that are artistic, and I can assure you it hasn't fallen on deaf ears. Coming back in September, I will use whatever strategies I learned here today and put it into good use so that children will, all-inclusive children will be catered for.
The summer training workshops are generally expected to foster a culture of lifelong learning among educators by providing them with opportunities to enhance their skills and knowledge in critical educational areas. It is also expected to create a platform for educators to exchange ideas, share best practices, and build professional networks that contribute to the collective strengthening of the educational system. For the GIS Evening Report, I'm Annette Moore.
Thank you, Annette. And finally in the news, the courts of the carriacou were filled with excitement and keen competition in basketball, volleyball, and netball on Wednesday as the Grenada-Windward Islands team and coaches participated in the event Fill the Void. Details in this report by Karen Moraine Alexander.
The games were used as a substitute to the cancelled Windward Island Games and also to show appreciation for the hard work of the athletes. The athletes were welcomed by Coach Shakira Colimo, who assured them that they are appreciated for their passion and commitment to their respective sporting disciplines. The Grenada team had been looking forward to defending their championship title this year.
Let me officially welcome you to our Windward Island School Games Fill the Void activity. We know a lot of y'all are disappointed seeing that the game was cancelled, and many of you it's your last year, so y'all were looking forward to it. So we decided as a management team that we're going to put on something so that y'all don't feel like all the hard work and all the training y'all have done has gone to waste, right? So today will be filled with keen competition. We're competing like we are competing against other countries, and we are competing for bragging rights. And the best bragging rights you can have is amongst your peers. Every time you meet up, you can say, hey, we won that, right? So just have fun today, enjoy yourselves, laugh, play hard, listen to the music, dance, eat, just have a good time today and display good sportsmanship, and may the best teams win today.
The participants of this appreciation event were awarded with medals and cash vouchers. Minister for Youth and Sports, Senator the Honorable Jonathan Ockert, congratulated the teams for their performance on the court and encouraged them to continue representing Grenada with excellence despite the disappointment due to Hurricane Beryl.
What I admired most when I came in around 4:15 this afternoon is that the teams played just as though they were in competition in St. Vincent, and I enjoyed the level of sportsmanship that you displayed amongst yourselves when you played with your teammates, and even the game that was played with your coaches. Very admirable. I want you to continue to keep the flag flying high and continue striving for a spirit of excellence in the respective sport meet that you are honing your craft in. So congratulations to all of the teams.
The results of the day are as follows. Basketball final, winners the red team, 18-14. Male basketball final, Tornado Juniors versus Red Rangers, winners Red Rangers 7-11. Female volleyball final, Spike Queens versus Digger Divas, winner Spike Queens 26-15. Male volleyball final, Spike Force versus Power Heaters, winners Spike Force 26-27. A friendly match was played in netball against coaches and the national team. I am Karen Moraine Alexander reporting.
Thank you, Karine. Her report brings us to the end of the GIS Evening News for today, Thursday, July 25th, 2024. To recap the top stories, new comptroller of customs appointed, and RGPF announces stringent measures for Carnival 2024. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Abigail McIntyre. Thank you for joining us.